Hi folks, this is my review of the Fenix PD32. This flashlight is an upgrade to Fenix's limited edition PD31, and it was brought out at the tail end of 2011, I believe. I've had it for just under a year. Right, so let's just have a look at what the box itself says. You get a max of 315 ANSI lumens, and I'll go over the ANSI rating in a second. It's got a Cree XPGR5 LED. Fantastic LED, not as new as their XML LED, but still a fantastic one. It's more of a throwing LED. It's not as large a die set, which we'll look at in a minute. 4 different brightness levels, again, we'll look at. A side dimmer switch, which you can see through the window there. A rapid strobe function, which many of them have. And just like a lot of good quality flashlights, it's waterproof to IPX8 standard. Now, IPX8 rating means you can submerge it in up to 12 feet of water for 24 hours, as long as you're not swishing it around. That looked a bit strange, but now this is again the ANSI rating. Now the ANSI rating is a more stringent rating process than out the front or at the bulb. That's 2 alternative ratings that flashlight manufacturers tend to use. Now if you see 300 lumens out the front, 300 at the bulb, and 300 ANSI, the ANSI will be the brightest. Like I said, it's a more stringent rating. You get up to 200 hours runtime with CR123 batteries. That's 2 of them, or one 18650 lithium ion rechargeable battery. Up to 141 meters beam distance, which I haven't got. I get half that. I get roughly 50 to 70 meters good quality usable light. So with that, I can see clearly what I'm looking at, what I'm shining the light at. 100 meters, now I've tried 100 meters, which I shall show you later on, that some beam patterns of this outside. You don't see 141 meters that clearly. I mean, the camera won't do it justice anyway, but you don't see 141 meters. This bit's irrelevant, to be honest. 5,000 candela peak beam intensity. It means nothing to me. I don't really know much about that. 1 meter impact resistance. Now, yeah, I can vouch for that. I have dropped it from, actually more than 1 meter. Dropped it from the 1-story high, and held up fine. Waterproof and submersible, that's kind of reiterating this IPX8 standard. Fenix themselves, I don't know how many of you know about Fenix, but they are quite a well-known flashlight company, quality flashlight company. They're one of the older players. They've been around longer than a lot of other ones. Not as long as Surefire. In many respects, they're better value than Surefire, though. The flashlights are made in China, which a lot of high-quality flashlights are. This tends to put some people off, but really don't. The quality of these flashlights is superb. So let's have a look at what you get, what comes in the package. So that's it. They're nothing amazing. You've got a plastic packaging with a included lanyard. Now this lanyard is really good quality. It has, let's see if we can make it out. You've got the nylon webbing at the back, which has a MOLLE attachment, a Velcro MOLLE attachment. Now, it's not the strongest attachment. It comes off fairly easily, but I put it on one Maxpedition bag, and it held up pretty well. You've also got a separate loop, which you can use for your belt. Again, it can be used, but I find it a tad uncomfortable when I sit down. The flashlight presses, so I don't really use the included lanyard. It's good that they include it. Plastic D-ring, which a lot of them have, you can hook onto your belt using a carabiner or something similar. So the nylon here, the nylon itself here, is really good quality. No fraying, nothing, well stitched together. Pretty solid construction here. And again, you have a Velcro strap that closes it, and you get included. What do you get? So let me just quickly open this up, see what we get. So we've got 2 rubber O-rings, decent sized O-rings, quality ones. I've never had to replace any O-rings in my flashlights, but then again, I've never had them long enough to require that. The same thing goes for the included rubber boot cap, which you can fit at the end, which I'll show you. This is quite a beefy, it's thick, good quality rubber. I've not managed to wear mine out yet. I have scuffed it where I dropped it from that height, and I dropped it onto the rubber tail cap end, and it's scuffed, but it's still waterproof, I believe. So then you get a lanyard. Fenix give you pretty good lanyards, actually. That's glinting off that. And they give you really good lanyards that you can attach these to. I do use lanyards. I do know some people don't like using lanyards with the flashlights. I find them really useful. Okay, so let me just pop these things away. Okay, and have a look at the flashlight itself. Okay, I'm just going to move these two things out the road. Okay, so this is the flashlight itself. It's a good sized flashlight. Now I'm going to compare it to something most people have seen, a regular AA mag light. Now if you have a look at it, it's quite a bit shorter. It's I would say about 2 centimeters shorter than the mag light. In terms of head thickness, it's a little bit narrower, the diameter is a little bit less. I've changed this to run an LED. But the back end, obviously because this is running or has the capability to run an 18650, that's why it's a broader or a thicker flashlight. But if you have a look at the construction itself as well, in comparison, now maglights are known to be reasonably rugged. This is the thickness of the maglite body, and I don't know if you can make it out, but the thickness of the Fenix body is quite a bit more. You're looking at about 1.5 millimeters. Thereabouts. Now I've got an 18650 in here. So let me just pop that to the side and we can have a look at the tube itself. This comes with, oh gosh, let's see if I can focus this. Okay, there we go. So it's got trapezoidal threads, or square threads as they're colloquially known as. Good quality anodized threading. I've put a little bit of silicone grease on there just to make the screwing on and off a bit easier. You have a clip-on pocket clip, which is, reasonable. It's reversible, so you can unclip it, just pops off, and you can reverse it if need be, but I've never really had the need for that. So let me just pop the 18650 back in. Now, if you don't want to run the 18650, you can run to, there we go, two CR123 batteries. They are 3.7 volts each, so if you run them, you can get a reasonable amount of power out of them. The 18650 is also a 3.7 volt battery. Now, it doesn't mean that if you run an 18650 you get reduced output, because a lot of people think, oh well, the voltage is lower, so I'm not going to get as good an output. That's not the case. You do get the same amount of output purely because it's regulated. So anyway, if I open the other end, take the head off, you can see that that's a tube there. Fairly light tube actually. I mean, I don't know, 15 grams, 20 grams roughly with a pocket clip. That's the head end there. This has reverse polarity protection, but I'm not sure how it works, because generally you see a ring that goes just around the button there, which is what provides the reverse polarity protection. But that's the actual clicky bit there that allows you to change the setting. You've got your standard hot stamp on there, so let me just screw this back together. In fact, I'm just curious to see, would this... Yeah, it looks pretty reversible, so you can reverse it if you really want to. Yeah, so yeah, it works. In fact, was that the original way it came now? No, it wasn't, huh? So it is perfectly reversible should you want to. Both sides are anodized, so it's pretty much identical either side. So now I'm confused which way I had this. I think it was this way. It doesn't really matter. Let's just see. So let me grab the battery, pop it in, like so, and turn this on and see what the beam pattern looks like. Okay, let me move the mag light out the road. Okay, so what I've done is change the exposure setting just to allow us to see the beam pattern a bit clearer. Okay, so this is a 9 lumen mode, which Fenix claims to give us 200 hours runtime. Now, I am using a cheat sheet for this. I don't happen to know these offhand. If we bump it up, so to bump it up, we do not soft press this. There is no soft press on this because it's a tactical clicky. With the tactical clicky, I'll explain that in a second actually. So what you actually do is you press the side button here, and you give it one press, and that takes it up to 70 lumens, which will give you 16 hours runtime. Soft press it again, 130 lumens for 8 hours, and one final time will take you into turbo mode, which is 315 ANSI lumens for a claimed 2 hours. Now, I have tested this. I actually ran one 18650 battery from freshly charged off the charger till it turned off, and it gave me an hour and 55 minutes. So, as close as you can get to the 2 hour runtime. Now, how good, then that was on a, it was basically on this exact same cell, which, if it will come out, I will show you, is 2,250 milliamp hours. There we go, if it focuses. Which, obviously, you can get 3,100 milliamp hour battery, so on that you will get improved runtime. I also tried it on CR123s, and I got a similar runtime. I don't have the reading for that, but from memory it was roughly like that. Now, you may notice one thing happened there. I took the battery out, I didn't turn the flashlight off, I then inserted the battery back, and it went back into the same mode. Now let me just show you. Currently it's in the lowest mode. I'll put it into the 70 lumen mode, turn it off, unscrew it, take out the battery, let's say I need to change it, pop the battery back in, screw it back up again, turn it on, and it should hopefully turn back on. It does, in the same 70 lumen mode, which is superb. If we look at the actual beam pattern itself, you will see that it has a good sized hotspot, fairly small. Now actually, looking at it in person, the hotspot is there. I'm going to see if I can get the camera to refocus and adjust for that. Okay, now you may see some flickering. I see some flickering. In real life, I don't see any flickering, but there is a little bit. Now that's more realistic. That's how big the hotspot actually appears when you look at it in person. Then you have this graduating out spill beam, which comes out to around about this area here. Now there are some artifacts in the beam, which is something I'm not so keen on, but that is a result of the reflector itself. So let's have a look at this reflector. Okay, so I'm just going to readjust it. Okay, so if we look at this, it's a smooth reflector, which is in stark contrast to the orange peel reflector of the through-night neutron 1A. Well, all the through-night neutron series have orange peel reflector. Now, if we do a side-by-side, you can actually see the size difference between the Cree XML T6 LED and the Cree XPGR5 LED. Quite a significant difference in terms of size. This is running a 1AA, it's actually running 14500, and this is running the 18650. But they're different beam patterns. This is an area light for close-up. It won't illuminate that far. This will illuminate much farther. And that's as a result, one, of the LED size, and two, of the smooth reflector, and the fact that it's a fairly deep reflector. I don't know if you can actually make it out, but that is quite a deep reflector there. And the LED itself is set pretty centrally. Another great thing about the flashlight is you can use, right folks, keep this clean, you can run run it as a lantern. So you basically pop it on, and it's impact resistant plastic, and you pop it on, turn the clicky on, and what we have is an incredibly good lantern, and you can use this in all brightness levels. So that's it with the 9 lumen mode, and it gives you a usable amount of light. Crank it up to the 70 lumen mode, it's bright. 130 lumen mode, you have a lightsaber, and 350. Wait, what did I do? I must have skipped a step. That was 9, that was 70, that's 130, and that 315. You have an awesome lightsaber there, and it's washing out my camera. So if I turn this off, I want to show you the tactical clicky, the pros and cons of this. One, because it's a tactical flashlight, so let's see if I can just focus in on this. Okay, so because it's a tactical flashlight, the button itself sticks out farther than the sides, the ridges, two things happen as a result of this. One, it will not tail stand at all, no matter how much you try. It will not tail stand at all. So negating that prospect, what is the second downfall of this? Well, the second downfall is I've got my lanyard, my holster, sorry. Keep calling it lanyard. I've got my holster, and now you pop the flashlight into the holster, close it. Okay, so what's the issue? The issue is this can press, and when it presses, your flashlight will be on, and you won't know. There is a way to solve that problem, is slightly unscrew it, and because it's anodized, it will not turn on, and that way, perfect. No problem, you can carry it without issue, but I really feel you shouldn't have to do that, but I guess that is, it's a tactical flashlight, or designed to be, so that's its function. It gives you that soft press capability. You do not have to click it in order to turn it on. Now it is reversible, so you can pop it in that lens to the top if you wish, or lens up rather, and it will fit perfectly like that. One way I used to carry it was to stop it moving. I used to put the clip on there, and then it will still close. No, wait, no, aha! I have this in reverse. I have realized, so let me quickly unscrew this. Pop that out, pop that on this end very quickly. Pop the battery in, close that if I can. Okay, and this is how I used to carry it, with the clip like that, and there we go. So it's clipped in this side. Let me just try and focus this. So it's clipped in this side there, so you can see it clipped in, and the lens isn't actually touching the bottom. That gives you a little extra degree of safety. Now the lens is toughened glass with an anti-reflective coating on it. However, I feel it's better to carry it like this. I mean, you still get the full Velcro closure. It fits perfectly in there, and that's excellent. So what I'm going to do now, folks, is take it outside so you can see some beam shots, and then we'll head back to the table. Okay, so I'm out here on a cold November evening, and I've got with me the Mini Maglite AA and the Fenix PD32. So let's try them out. So I'm going to try them out at 10 meters and then 25 meters. So let's see how they both do. Okay, so the Mini Maglite first. Okay, so I'm going to try and bring it into focus. And right, so that is, you can see some plastic garden chairs there. Very poor. Now this is a phone camera, and it's some geese in the background, and if I put it further ahead, you literally cannot see anything. If I bring this down a little bit so we can focus it to the ground. Okay, so let's rotate this down to the ground, and you can just make out some of the grass, but it's not very well focused at all. So let's try the Fenix PD32. Okay, so that's it on the lowest mode, the 9 lumen mode. You can just about make out the garden chairs. Crank it up a notch to the next setting, and you can see them much clearer. Let's focus in on them, and crank it up to the next setting again. Okay, easily see the little fake dog, garden chairs, and to the highest setting. There we go, the turbo mode, so very clearly. Now I'll take it up further. Let's crank it down to the lowest and see how it does a little bit further up. So there's two trees up there, and it's not picking them up at all. I can see them quite clearly with my eyes, but not on camera. So let's crank it up to the next setting. It doesn't look like much. We see a little bit bushes nearby, but nothing further. A little bit more, and finally there we go. So it's coming up now. I can see them very, very clearly, but the camera is not the best, so it's not picking them up that well at all. Okay, so that was my review of the Fenix PD32. If you liked what you saw, please click the like button over there. Please hit subscribe here. I will be greatly appreciated. There are many more flashlight videos to come. I'm going to be doing one on the LD20. I've got the Zebra Light SC600 to do. I've got other through night neutron flashlights to do. I'm going to be doing one on knives as well in the coming weeks. So I've got quite a collection there that I want to show you folks. And thanks for watching. Goodbye.